Buenos dias, and today is probably not the best day to look at your portfolio because we are down again, and we're not really crashing. We're just slowly, gradually going down, and this is really the time where it gets super boring, frustrating, like I talked to you in yesterday's video. This is really the suffering and the pain. That's really the price that we're paying for being in crypto, for being in this industry where you can make life-changing money, but you really have to go through a lot. You have to suffer a lot. You have to endure a lot. But then when the time is coming, when this is all flipping around, then it's going to be very, very fun to be in this industry. But right now, it's not really fun. Everything is going down. There are some coins, a few meme coins that are just pumping and outperforming everything. Pepe, for example, up 18% today. But yeah, besides that, we don't really have anything going up. It's really Pepe and Floki, and that's it. The Bitcoin ETF flows, though, are not looking that bad. We saw $66 million in net inflows yesterday. We saw Fidelity and Bitwise making the large chunk of that, and then also Fanex 7 million. But overall, nothing much is going on here, quite slow, really in the spirit of sell and may go away. People are preparing probably also for this summer break that we're about to enter. The only thing that really might save our summer plans and cause a huge rally during summer is actually if the Ethereum spot ETF gets approved. And I talked to you about this on Friday. Now we're only 9 days away, literally 9 days away from the final decision by the SEC, whether or not they're going to approve or reject the Ethereum spot ETF. If it gets approved, I guess it's kiss and goodbye, and June is going to be very, very fun. If it gets rejected, which is obviously what most people are anticipating, right? There's an 85 or 90% chance that it gets rejected. Then it's going to be boring, right? But I think this rejection is already priced in. I don't think we're going to see a big crash. On the other side, we would see a huge pump if it gets approved. Anyways, looking into the Cosmos ecosystem, same picture here, everything down slightly. Nothing is like crashing, but it's all just down. Atom 833, Akash down now, $5.14, and so on and so forth. Everything is down. Celestia, $8.59. So Atom is actually about to unflip Celestia, and in price at least. And yeah, this is something that happened a couple of months ago where TIA just smashed through the Atom price and went to 20 bucks. But now it came down a lot. But yeah, obviously, Celestia is a brand new coin that just recently launched, came out at $2, then went to 20, now at $8.59. Natural correction, I guess, also a reaccumulation phase, and reshuffles a little bit of the price. We also saw Mars Protocol down 13% after a bit of a rally yesterday and the day before, especially on the announcement about the or the teasing, I would say, about the potential halving of the community pool, right? I talked about this yesterday. There's 55% of the supply that's laying around in the community pool. If half of this would get burned, we'd see a reduction of the Mars supply by 1/4. So this could be interesting, but yeah, overall, nothing is really sticking right now. No news are sticking. It's very short-lived. Anything that's positive or bullish either doesn't have any effect on price or is immediately getting rejected. And this is also probably going to be the case when smart accounts are landing on Osmosis. And we are literally days away from this to be implemented. This is actually something that Sunny has talked about at Cosmoverse last year in Istanbul. And smart accounts basically abstract a lot of the complexity away and make the user experience on the Osmosis DEX much more smoother. And this right here is probably the biggest feature that is going to land with smart accounts, which is one-click trading. And one-click trading means basically two things. Number one, it means you have a much smoother overall experience. Number two, you no longer have to sign a transaction every time you place a new trade, even, and this is the interesting part, if you're using cold storage or hardware wallets. So if you're using a ledger on Osmosis in the future with smart accounts, which is literally days away, you will be able to trade without constantly having to approve transactions, which, to be honest, is super annoying. So if you've been using Osmosis until now, and that applies either for using it with a ledger or with just a hot wallet, then yes, it's been annoying to always have to approve transactions, but it's also the industry standard. So this is where crypto currently is. And it's also probably one of the main reasons why we're not seeing huge adoption yet in crypto, because the UX is still really bad. But smart accounts could fix that and could fix a lot of this complexity. So not only do we get rid of approving transactions, but also do we have multi-key and multi-device support, which enables seamless navigation across multiple devices without a hassle or security risk of handling private keys. There's also a social recovery, basically, where if you lose your device, you can quickly recover its access, preventing unauthorized transactions and giving you peace of mind. So that's one of the big features. Also, improved onboarding and access. So you will be able to use familiar authentication technologies like Face ID, Touch ID, and passkeys. They also want to implement two-factor verification for a security enhancement, and just overall also a better experience for developers to build and integrate custom applications using smart accounts. So smart accounts probably one of the biggest innovation on the Osmosis stacks. And like I said earlier, those things are not getting priced in right now, because right now we are in this bearish chopping around no man's land. But once the market is repricing a lot of the development in phases like now, in phases like the past 3-4 months, where it's only been going down, you will see coins like Osmo will bounce very hard. Coins like TIA will bounce very hard. And we have a lot more that we're going to be talking about today, but also obviously in the broader crypto space and the broader interchain, we're going to see a lot more coins that are going to bounce really, really hard. But yeah, you can also track the growth of the Osmosis ecosystem itself here. We have also Milky Way, liquid staking provider, that is currently on Osmosis. But I think once the Initia mainnet is live, Milky Way will deploy on Initia as a rollup. I'm not sure if they're going to stay on Osmosis at the same time, or if they just fully migrate onto Initia. But right now, Milky Way is on Osmosis. We also have Membran, which is also a stable token alternative, and also a lot more applications like Mars Protocol and also Levana, for example. Next, let's talk briefly about Celestia. I already talked to you about the price, which is really down, $8.58. It was at $20. Now it came down a lot, over 50% correction in this bearish sideways phase. But we saw a big announcement from Rollkit, which is now ready to deploy. And Rollkit, if you remember my Celestia introduction video, when Celestia mainnet went live, then you heard about Rollkit and you probably remember what it is. Basically, the TLDR is that Rollkit is a framework that lets you deploy new chains as easy as a smart contract. And there are a lot of different components to it. It also allows for a lot of flexibility. So far, right now, Rollkit deploys Cosmos SDK chains out of the box natively, which also means full IBC compatibility. Also, right now, Rollkit is using Celestia underneath for data availability, but also saying that in the future, you'll be able to also tap into other DA providers. And right now, you can just deploy any virtual machine application on that framework. And it's your own sovereign blockchain that you can just deploy in seconds, right? So this is really the game changer here. And this eventually also drives the adoption massively for the Cosmos ecosystem, right? When we talk about developer onboarding, developer adoption, this is something where we still are right now in all crypto when it comes to the infrastructure build out, is that we need to onboard developers and we need to make it easy for them so that they feel this is a very smooth process to build my chain, my product, my idea. And Rollkit is a great step towards that. And it's all Cosmos native in the end of the day. It's all Cosmos SDK native, IBC native. So this is really cool to see. If you want to learn more about Rollkit, you can go on rollkit.dev/learn. And you can read all about here the tech stack that they're using, the problems that they're solving, and so on and so forth. Next up, we have an update, which is probably an interesting one for you if you like airdrops. And this is from Electron DeFi, which was previously called Hoppers. And Electron DeFi is now on Neutron. I think previously they were actually building a DEX on top of Juno network. Now they are going to launch on Neutron, and they're going to also give out an airdrop to the Neutron community, which also includes the Atom community. So new airdrop alert, the ELE token, I guess, is going to be airdropped. And this DEX is going to be optimized for RWA assets or real world assets. And so far, they haven't really announced much here, but you can already see The launch is going to happen in Q2, so by the end of this quarter. And they're also teasing some logos here. There's also the Celestia logo, Stargaze, DYDX, Juno, and also I think the Saga logo. So might mean that they will be giving an airdrop to those communities as well. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for more information. Electron DeFi is definitely going to launch on Neutron. Neutron itself, I think, is also an interesting play. They are fully Atom secured. So it's a Cosmos Hub consumer chain, and they have a 1 billion supply with a 65-cent token price, implying a $650 million FDV, fully diluted valuation. This thing is listed on Binance and some other major exchanges. Obviously, there's also liquidity on Astroport, which is the main DEX in the Neutron ecosystem. So yeah, you can see that here. They're also closely aligned with Delphi Labs, which is also the team that incubated and bootstrapped Mars Protocol, Apollo DAO, and many other projects in the Cosmos ecosystem and Xterra ecosystem. But yeah, Neutron, I think, is also an interesting play. I personally only have my NTRN airdrop, which was a nice airdrop, to be honest. But I didn't buy more NTRN tokens, but that's probably one I should be increasing my exposure to. So NTRN now slowly entering those levels, I guess, where it gets super interesting. And yeah, definitely an interesting bet for this bull run. And I think to optimize your eligibility for this Electron airdrop, you also can put them into governance vaults, right? Because Neutron doesn't have native staking, because the staking or the security basically comes from Atom. So NTRN is not there to secure the chain, aka staking, but you can deploy or you can put your NTRN tokens into governance vaults. So this is also actually what they're recommending here. So for now, the airdrop will be distributed to active participants in the Neutron vault, which means put your NTRN, if you just have them anyways and don't want to sell them, put them into a vault, vote on active governance proposals, and yeah, play around with that. Then we also have some news from TAILWInd. TAILWInd is going to be a new wallet that is optimized for the Sei Network ecosystem. So TAILWInd is going to integrate Sei Network first, but then also, I guess, branch out to the broader interchain. And yeah, it's good to see more and more competition amongst wallets. We also saw Leap Wallet that now actually took over a lot of market shares from Kepler, but also at the same time onboarded a bunch of new users and has a lot of features that are actually very helpful for the community, right? Like their airdrop feature, for example, and many others. So Leap Wallet is great, I think, especially for mobile. Kepler is still my kind of main wallet that I'm using, but you can also integrate your Kepler into Leap, and you can just use Leap on desktop as well. I use Leap sometimes on desktop, but mainly still Kepler, even though I think Leap has actually a lot more interesting features now. But yeah, let's see how TAILWInd will perform, and if they manage to also gain more and more market shares. But this is definitely interesting to see more and more competition. And yeah, TAILWInd now is ready for public launch. Sei itself is also going to have a huge launch coming up, the Sei V2 launch, which is going to be bringing parallel EVM execution, which is highly anticipated. So we are, yeah, very close to see that go live. Sei still is probably the fastest chain, at least in Cosmos, maybe even in crypto. 0.4 second block times, super fast finality. It's a new generation of Cosmos chain, right? Similar to Celestia as well. And Barachain that's still coming up, Babylon that's still coming up, Saga that just launched, and Sei is definitely also in that bucket, right? It has a $4.6 billion fully diluted valuation. So next up, we finally also have some news from the Strange Clan. It's been a bit quiet around Strange Clan over the past couple of weeks and months, to be honest. But now they announced The Hunt, which is going to begin Friday, May 17th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and only goes until Sunday midnight. And it's basically a game, a campaign where they are exclusively inviting Strange Clan NFT holders and give out $15,000 in passage tokens and also NFT prizes. So you can check that out as well here. And I think this is an interesting campaign to reactivate the Strange Clan community, the Strange Clan NFTs, and also probably prepare for the big launch of the game, at least V1 of the game. I think this would be interesting. and good timing to see that come soon. But yeah, we have to wait and see what the Strange Clan is going to ship. Obviously, I'm very bullish on the Passage team, the Passage project, which is basically the base chain, which is hosting the Strange Clan. And they also have close integrations and partnerships with Akash Network. So far, though, we haven't really seen anything of that. We only saw Passage go down only 2.65 cents right now, which is extremely low. I think this actually implies a $27 million FDV, 27 million, around $30 million fully diluted valuation. So yeah, this is extremely low for that project, and could be an interesting play for this cycle for sure, especially considering that Passage never really saw a bull run. So this is going to be the first bull run for Passage. And right now, I think the NFT and the metaverse narrative is super cold, but eventually at some point this bull run, it's going to be very, very hot. And at the same time, Cosmos will be a very hot narrative. I really believe that. And I think everything is primed for that. So I think people will be asking, what is the metaverse playing Cosmos? And they will inevitably land at Passage. They will be asking, what's the gaming play in Cosmos? They will inevitably land at Saga and also at Passage, because the Strange Clan is built on Passage. They will land at all these projects, right? And finally, I want to leave you with that. Cosmoverse 2024. I think people are really underestimating what we're doing this year, because we are really doubling down on Cosmoverse tracks, which is basically a more custom experience for all our attendees, but also for all sponsors, speakers, investors, VCs, developers, because they can really pick their main fields of interest, right? If you say, hey, I'm interested in modularity, I'm interested in Bitcoin, I'm interested in AI infrastructure, I'm a gamer. If you are either of those and a lot more that we're going to announce over the next weeks and months, then we will have these tracks where we categorize all of these projects and all of these people that are interested in that field in this track. And this is going to be a streamlined experience, from main stage segments to hacker launch talks, to the exhibition area, to activations, to everything around all these tracks, which also means that we're branching out further, right? We have done this in the last year and we're doing it this year again, even further. We're really tapping into also other ecosystems and bringing Cosmos everywhere. And this really is then the end game for Cosmos, is to become the interchain. That's how I see it, right? We talked a lot about defining these terms. The way I see this is Cosmos is basically the tech stack, Comet BFT, previously Tenement, IBC, Cosmwasm, and the Cosmos SDK. And this eventually will evolve into the interchain, because the interchain also includes chains that might not be using Cosmos technology, but they still connect to IBC in some way, shape, or form. And this eventually is going to be the Internet of Blockchains, aka the interchain. So this is really what we're trying to do. If you are either interested in that, or you want to be first to be notified about ticket sales, which is starting very soon, then you can sign up with your email here and you get notified. Also, we announced the first round of tracks. There will be more and more added here. So if you're a project, you can also apply here. You can fill out a sponsorship application, or you can just say, hey, I want to be part of that track. We don't have any budget, but I still want to be there. Then you were still able to join that track, right? Which is something we've always done over the years, to be super inclusive as much as possible for all these projects and for everyone that wants to join the conference. Anyways, we also have Cosmos Athens coming up, and also Cosmos Berlin. Cosmos Berlin is actually going to be on May 27, Athens 26. So if you're around in any of these places, please, please join these events, right? Or drop me a message, join our Cosmoverse Telegram chat, and yeah, we'll see you there. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, don't give up. Stick around, do your research, connect with people, learn, study, and yeah, stick around. I'll see you then. Until tomorrow, take care and be good.